to begin with the deal of the quarter, and we're happy this morning to have Justin Smith from Mattamy Homes join us. He's the civil engineering degree. He has worked as an engineering consultant in infrastructure-related projects here in southern Arizona. He went on and received his MBA from the U of A, and in 2015 he joined Mattamy in his current position, and he's responsible for acquiring, entitling, and developing their projects in the Tucson area. It's yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. Again, Justin Smith with Mattamy Homes. Nice to be here today. I joined Mattamy back in summer of last year, so it's been about 15 months now. It's been an exciting adventure for me. I think I was the 5th employee hired for the Tucson division, working under Josh Robinson. So it's been a unique opportunity to be a part of a team that's truly in a startup mode and being a part to see a lot of aspects of the business across deals as well as just the overall home building business. I joke that we wear many hats, so among land, other things that I do, with the division, they joke that I'm the director of finance. I think it's because I'm cheap. And they also joke that I'm the HR guy for the office, just because if you've met my boss, Josh Robinson, there's a need for an HR department. So with that, I'll just give you guys a quick overview. It's true. Great guy. Just a quick overview. I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with the Houghton Road deal that Mattamy Homes did with the city of Tucson. In March of last year, they put the project out to bid in mid-2015. Bids were opened in October. Mattamy Homes was the winning bidder for the property. Mayor and the council approved the bid award in November, which started a 90-day due diligence clock for us. And at the end of 90 days in March, we ended up closing the property. And since then, kind of just trying to give the overall market an overview of where we've been and what we've been doing since then. We're actually actively engaged in the rezoning process. So I just wanted to give kind of everybody a quick update on where we are, where we're headed, and what we're working towards. So you can see on the map there the property that's noted in blue. That represents the 173 acres that Mattamy Home purchased from the city of Tucson. It was purchased in its current zoning, and we have since then been actively moving through the zoning process, working on the development of a PAD within the city of Tucson. Our PAD itself includes a total of 319 acres, and we actually have two co-applicants that are with us. Noted in kind of the light blue down in the southwest corner is a City of Tucson project, City of Tucson Water Project, which is known as the SHARP facility, which stands for South Houghton Area Recharge Project. That's eventually going to be a series of recharge ponds, and as part of our rezoning, they are getting some entitlements they need for the expansion of that facility, and ultimately the development of that facility into a recharge facility where they're, I think if I remember right, it's about targeting to do about 4,400 acre feet of water of recharge annually, along with a big park programming. The second co-applicant with us is actually the city of Tucson, and that's for the open space portion of the property, which is in light green there, and they are part of the application because as part of that, that open space is being set aside for regulatory protection for use going forward as the first phase of ultimately the Fantasy Island Trails Park, which is a mountain bike park over in the southeast corridor, so if you guys are familiar with that. So it's been a different process. This is my first zoning where I've had multiple co-applicants, so it's been a good opportunity for us to coordinate with them, determine what everybody needs as part of the zoning document, and put it together in a very cohesive fashion. We've been working with stakeholders in the area, specifically properties across the street. There's a significant amount of commercial property across the street known as the pavilions. A very active group of neighborhood associations out there, including the one that most people would probably recognize for the area, which would be Savano, as well as Sierra Morado, Mesquite Ranch, and then even Rita Ranch, which is further south. So we've done a lot of stakeholder outreach, and we've also been actively engaged in coordination with the city of Tucson in coordinating with the biker groups, which are very active and vocal representatives of the Fantasy Island Trails Park. So we've done a lot of stakeholder outreach. Our rezoning is actually in process now, going through the city of Tucson, and we are working towards finalizing kind of our public process on that. So just wanted to give you guys, if you guys haven't seen it, it's all out in the public domain as part of our initial submittal. There's a quick overview of kind of what the site plan looks like, just to give you guys an idea of what we're working on. You can see the different components there, including obviously Matamy's portion, which is the residential component. We've named it Saguaro Trails. That'll be the brand of the community, with a high emphasis and focus on outdoor living and capitalizing on the existing trail facilities and outdoor recreation that are already built into this community, and recognize that as a real value and trying to accentuate and build upon that. Our main spine road providing access to the property is going to be at the intersection of Drexel Road and Houghton, which will serve as a primary kind of collector road for there, which will serve not only access to Sharp, but also to all of our planning areas. The planning areas themselves have varying ranges of density that we've targeted. Ultimately, we are in full compliance with the Houghton Area Master Plan, which is an overarching guiding document for the region, about 10,800 acres in total. And so we have different pockets of density which allow for different types of homes, including traditional single-family detached, attached, including even a section for which we provided for flexibility for a multifamily section if the market need ever arose for that. So we've been doing a lot of work on it. It's been, like I said, it's been a fun process, and we're working towards that. Ultimately looking to get an approval and then start moving towards kind of our platting processes and bringing it to market.
Our next speaker this morning is going to be Bruce Supas, who's going to cover the office market for us. Bruce has been with C.B. Richard Ellis for approximately 12 years, and he specializes in medical and office.
Thank you. I saw that look like, oh, he's in office. I know. I'm recovering, okay? I actually think I have something to talk about today, which is really kind of huge. I'm going to have to retire some of the stale material that says, hey, Bruce, we want you to talk about the office market. And of course, I say, office market? What office market? That really, I'm going to have to stop that. I'm going to have to light a fire in the corner somewhere as a diversion so people don't actually realize that what I'm saying about the activity of office or lack thereof isn't the same thing every single time. Or maybe I got to follow someone in retail because they actually have a lot happening there. Or worse, I got to follow George Larson behind. That's the worst thing of all, okay? So, because he's so good. Anyway, so seriously, I think we have some positive statistics. And the vacancy rate, sometimes you have to look at the last 12 months as opposed to calendar. Calendar's fine, and you can see trends. But I think for us, and again, we do a little differently where I'm at as far as measuring vacancy based on the size of buildings, 10,000 square feet. But even for that, we went down 2 full points. I mean, down about 17.2. That is a big deal. Even if you don't use our measuring stick, and I know just in terms of total square footage, office square footage here in town, it has been 12 to 13%, probably the last 6 or 7 years, from the first times in forever that they're down about 11.5. That is a big deal. I mean, that's something we have not seen before. Absorption, overall growth of office space, right? I mean, I think we saw the numbers are right around 167,000 square feet. That's a big deal also. That's a big number. It's expansion of some of the current stuff that we have, as well as a few new users to the market. Just to cite a couple of them, U of A grabbed about another 38,000 square feet. Genesis OBGYN did 15,000 square feet. Community Behavioral Health, 12,000. The Roman Catholic Diocese, they did a transition from owner-occupied for about 11,000 square feet. A company called Curriculum Associates, 7,000. And of course, the Tucson Roadrunners, 6,000 square feet of admin space. We do have job growth here. I know that's been something pretty foreign, and even better than most around the country right now. Obviously, we need a lot more. We need a lot better and higher paying jobs. We need a bunch more Caterpillars. We all know that. But we are on our way. You know, even Vector Space Systems, I think they're estimated about 400 jobs, which is very positive. Construction, very little as of late. And the only positive things about that is any demand that we get goes right off that vacancy and brings down that vacancy rate. However, of late, I do want to note, let's see, Arizona Oral Maxillofacial did about 4,500 construction out at Innovation Park, another 6,200 square foot project at McGee Corporate Center. And then, of course, massive, 150,000 square foot headquarters for Caterpillar. We're going to do the demolition and redevelopment of La Pasita, 200,000 square feet, and another 50,000 at 10 East Broadway. These are all wins. I mean, this is a big deal. It's really fun to talk about. So what do we have as far as challenges? Well, we got obsolescence, right? We know that. Most everything was built in the 80s. I'm exaggerating, but not that much. People want nicer, newer. So you get tenants coming in town, and we still have a massive musical chairs deal. And Class A space is a recipient of those musical chairs, right? They want better stuff, higher demand, less competition. So they're in pretty good shape. The Class C, not so much. You know, you can't even play ball on rates. There's guys that are willing just to pay to cover their net, you know, just some of their operating expenses, and they can't even get that. There's going to be a real issue going down the road, especially stuff on the periphery where we've seen a lot of that attrition and movement more to the midtown areas. We're going to have to deal with that. The announcements of Caterpillar and Raytheon, very encouraging. I don't think we've yet seen really a lot of the effects, as a lot of folks haven't actually physically moved out here, or a lot of started hiring even. But I tell you what, with their associated vendors and the support firms and all the ancillary stuff going on, there is just no doubt it's going to make a difference. Kind of like the effect of moving dirt around in a project, right? Sometimes you get one, all of a sudden, hey, what's the deal? What do they know I don't know? It just stimulates growth. They don't even know why. They just want what somebody else has. That's a really good thing. Let's just keep going with that. We don't have to tell them anything. Just come on. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, Doug. Come on. I'm recovering. I just told you. Again, I'm in office, all right? It's been a siege, okay? We really have had some expansion in some of the medical community, really more so quasi-medical, kind of behavioral health guys, kind of that shift from simpatico, from CPSA. And really, what's interesting, too, is there's been a few submarkets that have just seen a lot more of a pop, that have more kind of a medical bent to them. Specifically St. Mary's, not quite sure yet whether it's a management thing with tenant health care moving in on the Carondelet stuff, but I can tell you overall, what little office space we've had in and around that area and in that submarket has just been filling up. It's incredible. I'm still trying to figure it out. I love it. I'm not going to question it. Let's go with it. But again, it's been a really good run. I don't know, again, if it's management, is it just a submarket rebirth? Not quite sure. Our smaller local users, which is a lot of them, right, they're becoming more optimistic. I think overall they're buying stuff. Yeah, it's at a lower price and things are sold a little lower. But they're also going back to longer leases. I was so concerned that the 3-year was the new 5, and it was getting kind of scary. And the only time we saw the longer-term deals was really medical and dental deals that were blessed by lenders, right, or those that required a big build-out and a lot of amortized costs. But we've seen more and more of that from the non-medical community. Also a very good sign. Bottom line, is it enough? No. Are we there? Absolutely not. But are we going in the right direction? Oh yeah, I absolutely believe that. I would agree with what was said earlier today about this collaboration with the public and private sector. I absolutely believe that. I think it is going in that direction, but I really think we have to boil it down. We have to drill down further, guys, and I've said this before, and I'm a broken record. It comes down to individually people, what we're doing, and we are all ambassadors, whether we like it or not. And it's people in this room especially that affect other things and other people. And as much as we want to joke around and take a little shot here and there, it makes for good fun around the water cooler, the reality is over time and on a larger scale, it does a lot of damage. And if you're going to offer challenges, that's cool, that's okay, that's positive, we got to get better. But you better in that same breath or that same conversation talk about solutions and talk about positive things that we offer, because it does make a difference. And but we cannot really, truly cannot do it unless we do it together. Thanks for your time.
Bruce, thank you very much. And our final roundtable speaker is Nick Shavita, right? Nick is an industrial broker for Tango Commercial. He's been in commercial real estate as broker for about 3 years, but he was in asset management for 5 years before that. He was with R&G originally, and he was there for the launching of the Tango Group here in Tucson. He's a U of A grad, and he's here to tell us about the industrial market.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So getting into vacancy rates here for industrial real estate. Right now, we're looking at about 8%, which is lower than it was last year. Comparing that to Phoenix and the U.S. overall, doing a lot better than Phoenix. However, Phoenix is seeing a lot more growth than we are. It goes back to what Bruce has said and what everyone else has said as far as our local economic climate. Overall in the U.S., 6%, so the U.S. overall is doing a little better than Tucson right now. As far as absorption time, we've seen a high positive net absorption here in Tucson in the last year, especially the last quarter. which has brought us down right now to about 3 years to absorb. Not to say that's going to happen, because every year is different, but right now, according to the data, that's what we're looking at. In comparison to Phoenix, we're doing a hell of a lot better, where they're at 10 years, and overall in the US, a little over 4.5 years of absorption time. Average quoted rental rates. Here in Tucson, they have definitely gone up for industrial. We're at about $6.86 a square foot right now. Not as great as Phoenix. Phoenix is a whole different market, but I would say in Tucson right now, we're doing pretty well compared to where we were last year when I gave this talk. And definitely better than overall in the US. So trends in the Tucson market. In industrial, we've seen vacancy decrease to 8%. Last year, it ended a little over 9%, with a positive net absorption close to 1 million square feet. Major transactions within the last year include Coca-Cola, selling for a little over $5.6 million, and then we have a couple other of the top sales in Tucson as well. So what is the hope? Once again, it seems like that's kind of been the trend or the pattern within this whole discussion this morning is, how do we keep companies like Raytheon, IBM, and even now Caterpillar to stay here and stay happy and productive? Not only that, but then keeping our Tucson startups like Bird Brown, Ventana Medical, etc., proactively incubated, accelerated, supported, incented to help their growth and their success within our local economic climate. So in conclusion, keeping this short, the Tucson industrial market is looking better than it has been over the last several years. The business environment still needs improvement, as we've all discussed here. And we need to continue welcoming outside businesses with open arms, like Caterpillar and Raytheon. We need to definitely show them our appreciation. Okay. But as Industrial said, I was at a discussion a few months ago, and one person said, with industrial real estate, it's not that, or the overall Tucson market, it's not that it's too overdeveloped, it's that it's too under-demolished right now. A lot of things I've seen in industrial and from attending all the industrial broker roundtables is there's a lot of obsolescence out there, as Bruce mentioned. A lot of these buildings that these companies are not looking for, as far as these older buildings with lower ceiling heights, not wide span, and we need more of that. But how do we get more of that? And I think a great start is dealing with our local politicians, and not only that, but the business sector as well.